Welcome back. There is a live look outside from the Oregon coast. That's our Inn at Spanish Head Resort Hotel camera in Lincoln City. Thanks for watching Afternoon Live. He is a wealth of knowledge who is hoping to share the diversity, flavor, and healing properties of herbs, and he shares it all in his new book, Herbs in Every Season. We welcome author and herbalist Bevin Cohen. Thanks so much for joining us.
Well, hello, Hannah. Thank you so much for having me today.
Tell me about the book. It feels like a really fun way to experience all these herbs in every season.
Well, I would have to agree. I think it is a fun way to do that. I think it's my 10th or 11th book, and it was the one I had the most fun on this one. It was such a pleasure to be able to look at herbs through the lens of the seasons, to really explore that idea, and then to share that with the readers so they can maybe see herbs and plants and all the wonders that they offer just through a different perspective.
Do you have any go-to herbs for us in the Pacific Northwest, just depending on our climate and terrain, that would be either helpful or things that we could maybe grow pretty easily on our own?
Well, sure, there's a lot of great things that grow in the Pacific Northwest, but we could even think about some wild plants,
Oh,
things like
yeah.
dandelions, cleavers, violets. Those are all incredibly useful plants, and they're very abundant. They grow all over the place. But right now, for most folks, I'm recommending lemon balm. Lemon balm is a go-to herb. It is great for stress, anxiety, nervous tension, and I'm sure you see the news all the time, Hannah. That's what folks need right now. They need to relax a little bit, so we could all use a little bit more lemon balm.
It's true. That's a great point. And your book really covers things that you can use herbs in the kitchen, the apothecary, all types of different ways that maybe we hadn't thought of incorporating herbs into our life before.
Well, I really wanted to, like I said, change people's perspective about plants. There's so many wonderful things that they can do for us. We could think about them in the kitchen, the flavor that they're going to bring to our foods. We could think about them medicinally, right? All of the wonderful medicines, topical, beauty creams, all sorts of stuff that we can make. And we've already got so many herbs right in our homes, too. Things that we may not even think about. Cinnamon, green tea, whatever it might be. There's just a bounty of wealth that nature provides to us. Once we just learn to look at things a little bit differently, we'll see that nature provides everything that we need.
Well, that's true, and you mentioned like a dandelion earlier. A lot of us would see that and think of it as just a simple weed, something we have to get rid of, but really there's some great properties to it.
Oh, so much. I mean, the whole plant is edible. From the top of the flower to the bottom of the root, we can eat every part of the dandelion. And the dandelion leaves are especially beneficial in the spring. They're at bitter green that's going to really stimulate our digestive system, give us a nice kickstart to start the year off right. It's sad that we think of dandelions, that some people might think of them as weeds, because they're beautiful, they're abundant, they're useful. We just need to change the way that we look at plants, right? Just a little bit differently, and we'll see that even a weed like dandelion is just so awesome for all of us to enjoy.
When you incorporate in the book some scientific knowledge along with folklore, the stories, and kind of cultural references behind a lot of these plants and herbs, and that's kind of a fun combination to change that perspective.
Well, I think that both of those avenues of thinking are very valuable, right? We can look at the folks who have been using plants for, thousands of years, 10,000 years since the dawn of agriculture, even before that, harvesting wild plants. Incredibly beneficial, and that knowledge has been passed down through indigenous peoples from generations to generations. But now, modern science is learning many of these things that indigenous people already knew. So when we can take these 2 points of view and see how many places they overlap, which is plentiful, then we can say, oh, no matter where we come at herbs, whatever our perspective may be, we can find the information that we need and see that it's validated, whether it be folklore or science.
That is so cool, and you kind of break down even the life cycles of different herbs and how they exist in our gardens, and that kind of feels like a fun way to jump into it, of you're kind of on this learning journey and, well, wait a minute, maybe I could add that to my garden too and kind of see where that takes me.
One of the best ways to learn about plants is by observing their entire life cycle, from seed through flower all the way to seed again. I think it makes us better herbalists if we want to approach herbs from that point of view. But even as gardeners, understanding how a plant lives its entire life, what it likes, where it likes it, and then learning to apply that to our own garden practice is very, very important. The seasonal approach to herbs, it's, I think, critical to understanding the benefits that these plants offer us, because we go through seasons as well, the seasons of the year, the seasons of our lives, and we see that the plants that we need change as we change. Our needs change, and the plants are right there with us the entire time.
Yeah, that's a great analogy. Are there certain powerhouse go-to herbs that you're always going to have around in your home or garden in some capacity?
Oh, sure. I mean, this is a tough question because there's so many of them. Right now, because it's spring here in Michigan where we're at, we're getting ready to start harvesting stinging nettles, Urtica dioica. And now this is a powerhouse plant, okay? Again, completely edible, incredibly nutritious. It's full of vitamins, minerals, iron. It's as healthy as spinach, if not healthier, right? but it grows in the wild and it's abundant to get. But it's also wonderful medicinally for inflammation, joint pain, arthritis, that sort of thing. And if you're extra industrious, the stems of the plant are very fibrous and can be used to make cordage. So we can make ropes out of the plant too. So it's really doing all sorts of stuff for us. So stinging nettles, an absolute powerhouse for sure.
I love it. Your enthusiasm is so infectious. This was so fun to talk about, Bevin. Thank you so much for spending some time with us today.
Oh, I appreciate the time with you today too, Hannah. Thank you so much.
All right, thanks, friend. Okay, the book again is Her Herbs in Every Season, and we'll have more information on our website at katu.com.